Dear students, welcome to the Dr. V.S. Krishna Government College, Visakhapatnam Media Center. Dear students, today we are going to learn the concept of private and public company, which is most important topic in the subject of business organization. See, in every day, knowingly or unknowingly, we come across different types of companies, out of which today we are going to learn two important companies. One is the private company, another one is the public company. See, what are the differences between private company and the public company? See, Indian Companies Act 2013 has given a clear definition about the companies. See, before going to give the definition of the company, I would like to give you one important aspect to you all. That is, it is very difficult to define each and every aspect in a clear-cut manner. In such a cases, instead of defining, we need to describe the qualities and the characters. Then we can have an idea about the complete picture of that particular concept. Here I would like to give you certain basic features relating to the company, so that we can understand which company is a private company, which company is a public company. Now, just observe the concepts as per the Indian Companies Act 2013. A private company is one which has a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh rupees or higher capital as prescribed by the Companies Act. Here the Companies Act means Companies Act 2013, that is the latest Companies Act. Its articles of association mentions that the company restricts the right to transfer its shares and limits the number of its members from 2 to 200. 2 to 200 means minimum 2 members and the maximum 200 the members. See, in this given definition, you can easily identify certain characters. See, relating to the capital point of view, minimum 1 lakh paid up share capital is there. Relating to the share transfers point of view, there is a restriction on share transfer. And coming to the number of members, the minimum 2 members and the maximum only 200 members. With these characteristics, any company is having, we can say simply, such company is calling it as a private company. So coming to the public company. Public company means, here see that, obviously which is not a private company. So here public company means which is not a private company. But here the number relating to the number of the public company, a minimum 7 shareholders or subscribers, and it has a minimum paid up capital of 5 lakhs. Here a company is having a minimum 7 members, and when it comes to the maximum members, there is no limitation as per the Companies Act, and share capital point of view, minimum 5 lakhs paid up share capital is required. With these features, we can identify which company is a public company. See, these are the main features of the company. Basing on that, those features, we can easily understand the feature according to the features which is public company and which is private company. Coming to the another important aspect, just now we have discussed a number of members. Once again, I repeat, the number of members point of view, when it comes to the private company, minimum 2 members and the maximum allowed members are 200. When it comes to the private company, minimum 7 members, there is no restriction about the maximum numbers. And another feature, commencement of the business. When a public company can start their business, when a private company can start their business. Here you should understand, to commence the business of public company, it requires to fulfill a lot of legal requirements. So that is the reason why the establishing a public company, it's not so easy. So anyhow, so nowadays governments are thinking about the single window acceptance. See the procedural aspects relating to the commencement of the public company. A public company can commence its business only after getting the certificate of commencement of business. See, there are 2 stages. One is incorporation. it is nothing but registration. Once registration is completed, after fulfilling the required legal provisions and the legal process, then only after satisfying all these legal provisions, then finally company registrar will issue certificate of commencement of the business. Then only a public company will start the business. But when it comes to the private company, there is no question of such kind of certification. Once it is incorporated, then they can go for starting their business activities. Coming to the next aspect, transfer of shares. See, in public company, they can transfer their shares from one person to another person. There is no question of restriction. But when it comes to the private company, there is a restriction of transferring of shares because the number of members are limited up to a maximum 200. That is the main reason. So coming to the remuneration. Here remuneration aspect is most important thing. See, managerial remuneration, there is a restriction on managerial remuneration. See, managerial remuneration means the people, those who are running the organization or an institution, we can say a managerial category. The all managerial category remuneration is restricted up to 11% of the profits actually. If such kind of provision is not there, then what happens? As a managerial person, they have the advantage of increasing their level of percentage of commission. That is normally 11%, that is fixed. In extraordinary situations, means if there is no situation of profit, that one is limited to 50,000 rupees in case of public companies. Such kind of restriction is not applicable for private companies. See, once again I repeat, the 11% is restriction only for public companies, not for the private companies. Then coming to the other aspects, statutory meeting. Statutory meeting. See, a company required to conduct certain important meetings. Statutory meeting, annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting, like there are different types of meetings are there. See, statutory meeting means the first meeting after incorporation of the company, that meeting is a crucial meeting for any company. So mainly for public company. In that particular meeting, so company management will take a decision to recruit the most important people, directors, auditors and all. They are required to send the compilation report also and the compliance report also. Finally, a statutory meeting plays a vital role for operating their activities of the company. See, statutory meeting provision is applicable for only the public company. But when it comes to the private company, there is no question of such provision. Coming to the quorum. Here the quorum means the minimum number required for conducting the meetings. See, public company, there is a separate quorum restriction is there. Private company, there is a separate restriction is there. Just observe that if the articles of a company do not otherwise provide 5 members personally present in the case of public company, the minimum number required for conducting the meeting proceedings and all, in case of public company, 5 members are required. In case of private company, 2 members are enough for continuing the proceedings. See, that is called a quorum. Coming to the next one, issue of share warrants. Issue of share warrants. A public company can issue of share warrants, but such share warrants cannot be issued by a private company. See, this is also another restriction. Coming to the next one. So we have seen so far there are different aspects. So number of directors. Now the number of directors. The number of directors, a public company must have at least 3 directors. When it comes to the private company, must have at least only 2 directors. Coming to the another aspect, name, limited clause. You can observe any company, private company, they are required to maintain after their name, so private limited. So where there is a company name is some XXX and private limited, it indicates clearly it is a private limited company. If it is a public company, after the company name, only the word limited is there. So that is one kind of identification for the purpose of public company and the private company. And the next one, formation of simply directors, simply board of directors. A director of a public company shall file with the register consent to act as a director or sign the memorandum of association. See, once a director is appointed, he has to send his consent to register of the companies. But such kind of provision is not applicable for a private company. This is relating to the directors, formation of board of directors. Now, just have a glance. What are the issues so far discussed? One by one. Private company and the public company. The first aspect, minimum paid up capital requirement point of view. Private company 1 lakh minimum capital is required, and the public company 5 lakhs capital is required minimum. But minimum number of members, if it is a private company 2 members, if it is a public company 7 members. When it comes to the maximum numbers, if it is a private company 200, if there is no question of restriction regarding maximum numbers relating to the public company. Transferability of shares. In case of private company, transferability of shares completely restricted. Such kind of restriction is not applicable for public company. Coming to the next issue, number of directors requirement. At least 2 directors required in case of private company, 3 directors at least required for public company. Coming to the next one, commencement of the business. Commencement of the business, after incorporation of the company, immediately they can run the business in case of private companies. In case of public companies, after incorporation, they are required to obtain the certificate of commencement. Then only they can start their operations. And the statutory meeting. Such kind of obligation is not applicable for a private company, but in case of public company, they are required to conduct the statutory meeting. Quorum. In case of private company, minimum 2 members is a quorum. In case of public company, 5 members are the quorum. And the last one, managerial remuneration. Regarding the payment of managerial remuneration, there is no question of any restriction in case of private company, but in case of public company, there is a restriction up to 11% of the net profits. This is about the differences between private company and the public company. Thank you so much.